When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that combination punchers. That's how Pacquiao was landing. His punches, combinations, and it just shows you that he is a great fighter. But I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan, and I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can. And Juan Manuel Marquez was like, when I was growing up, he was always a fighter I was studying. I was always like watching. It was always like one of my favorites. It was so fucking just so technical. Even when he was in danger, it was fucking crazy.
Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios just had their first face-off in Las Vegas ahead of their world title fight in July. And while many have been worried about the boxing legend's decision, he exuded so much confidence during the face-off. What was particularly surprising was how he was able to stay so fit amidst his political campaign.
But it's good. Good experience. We give a good action fight to the fans. Elbow.
The 8th Division World Champion looked jacked and ready for the fight to the delight of many. Shortly before they faced off, the two fighters were asked questions about themselves and their fight in July. Manny Pacquiao, when asked what exactly his drive was that made him insider his return to the ring, despite his political ambition in this season, "I love boxing," he said, "and I know I still have something more to offer to boxing. Once I'm done, I know. I just believe I can always come back and do more, make more records, and leave a big legacy."
明日はこのような機会を最大限に発揮して力を見せたいと思います。私の試合もそうですけれども、明日は素晴らしい試合がたくさん並んでいるので、ぜひ全大会楽しみにしています。
05クリアです。
クリアです。
He was also asked to give a word for the naysayers who think he's too old to fight at this point in his life. He said, "Well, they'll all see. There are ups and downs, and if I'm not feeling like it, I wouldn't do it. I'll make them believe in me again. Everyone should just watch and see what's going to happen in July. I'm ready as ever." One other thing Manny Pacquiao spoke about was the obsession of modern fighters with unbeaten records, which makes them cherry-pick their way to an undefeated record at retirement.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion, so who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. That's a tremendous fight. It was released, PBC. Manny Pacquiao first title was the flyweight WBC, and he wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
"I was never after any record. I just love to fight, and I wanted to fight till I don't feel like it anymore. And anyone who likes to fight knows you may win or lose. If you fight and you take the possibility of losing off your head, then you're in the wrong sport." It was soon Mario Barrios' turn, and he had very few words to say. He appreciated Manny Pacquiao for the opportunity and expressed his admiration for him. He then promised to bring his best to the ring in July and show the world what he's made of.
Manny Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, it definitely has to do with money, one. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man.
Surprisingly, Manny Pacquiao's statement seems to have done so little to many in the boxing world who think he's too old to get into a fight against a fighter he's 17 years older than. I don't know why these guys still do this. Manny has a legacy and he wants to ruin it all before he leaves the sport. Really sad for someone we all look up to that much. Another fan commented, "Mario Barrios is going to have a title defense against someone who's meant to be at the ringside's front row. I feel like these bodies should have rules that regulate this." One fellow also quipped, "I can't be convinced of this nonsense again after what Mike Tyson did last year against Jake Paul. When you're retired, stay retired, man."
He stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. He didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well.
Retirement seems to have become inconsequential in the sport of boxing. Fighters nowadays hang up their gloves, and the moment a big paycheck is waved in front of them, they run back to the gym. After legendary heavyweight Mike Tyson, most recently, boxing's only 8-division champion, Manny Pacquiao, is set to make his much-talked-about return to action at 46. His opponent? World Boxing welterweight champion Mario Barrios, as reports confirm, will fight Pac-Man on July 19th in Las Vegas. The fight will see the retired boxer come back to the sport after nearly 4 years out of professional boxing as they compete for Barrios' World Boxing Council strap. In the meantime, undisputed super featherweight champion Alicia Baumgardner is unhappy with the chit-chat among fans about Pacquiao's return.
You know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits.
So, this begs the question, what are the fans saying? After losing to Yordenis Ugas by unanimous decision in his last professional match in 2021 and showing signs of decline against Rukia Ampo in their July 28th exhibition in Japan last year, many now doubt his abilities and even believe he'll lose the upcoming matchup badly, given the tough fighting style of the 29-year-old Barrios. Fans took to social media to beg him to reconsider the professional comeback after seeing how he fared against Ampo, with one saying he looked 100 years old in the ring, and another saying that a world title shot at this stage was laughable.
But not as much as William Skull.
There's a rumour going around this week that Manny Pacquiao is going to return. What do you make of that?
I don't know. We shall see. I don't know.
Do you think he's too old at 46 to fight Barrios?
I can't say if he's too old or not. You know, if he get in there and win, then everybody will be saying different. So I don't put no limit on an all-time great like Manny Pacquiao.
Where does a win against Canelo Alvarez put you in the list of all-time greats?
Top of the top.
There were flashes of Pacquiao's skill in the bout, which ended in a draw as most exhibitions do, but he was being caught by Ampo much too often and drawn into more of a fight than he had perhaps prepared for. The performance was branded embarrassing by a viewer on social media, and the future Hall of Famer was, by many, urged to reconsider his future plans and stay retired. Post-fight, Pacquiao said Ampo was strong and fights well even though he lacks experience, before qualifying it with "he's also way bigger than me." He admitted he had a lot to work on should the Barrios plans be realized.
There's talks of maybe Manny Pacquiao coming out of retirement, fighting Mario Barrios. Do you like that fight? And if so, how do you see that fight going?
Look, Manny Pacquiao is a different animal. Peyton Manning, you know, Tom Brady come out of retirement all the time, and he does what he does. This Manny Pacquiao. Yes, do you worry about him? He's facing a young gun, a guy that's fighting at the best of his ability right now. And Barrios, yeah, you worry about that. Barrios is a really good boxer, strong. Look, but it's Manny. Manny's C game, D game.
Perhaps Pacquiao believes there was some good in whatever he did in the ring, but it was an entirely different thing that fans saw. And from what fans saw, Manny Pacquiao's world title shot against Mario Barrios has possibly gone up in smoke after his exhibition bout with Rukia Ampo. Pacquiao faced Japanese kickboxer Ampo in a 3-round exhibition, and although there was no official winner, everyone knew the result. Pacquiao struggled to come to terms with the height and reach of the taller competitor and was picked off at will throughout. And about a year after that, and 4 years after his last competitive fight, he's set to return to the ring in a world championship fight.
You wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao. I think you were like 27, 28 when you wanted to fight Pac. Why didn't that fight happen?
I hear so many excuses like they didn't want it, but Freddie Roach on the record saying he didn't want Pacquiao to fight. I just think Top Rank wanted to protect Pacquiao because of the money issue.
Not to mention, Pacquiao seemed busy with his political career post-retirement, so what made him come back to boxing? As people across the globe raised such concerns, Baumgardner seemed annoyed by the negative chit-chat. "Don't ever count Manny out. What the hell is wrong with y'all?" she wrote on X, hitting back at the speculators. While Baumgardner doesn't seem to think Pac-Man can lose or that it poses any threat to his health, others have raised concerns. Amir Khan has warned Manny Pacquiao about the risks of returning to the ring to face World Boxing Council welterweight champion Mario Barrios.
When's Amir Khan coming back?
You know, the only person I'll come back for, on a serious note, would be Manny Pacquiao. I would not come back for anyone else. It'll make me train even harder than like a Kell Brook fight, because he's an animal, and you know, you need that push.
The 46-year-old Pacquiao's final decision is expected after the Philippine elections on May 12th. Khan, who once trained alongside Barrios, expressed concern. I don't know how much Manny's got left in him. This could be a tricky fight for Pacquiao. Amir Khan, who had been linked to fight with Pacquiao during his own career, warned the former multi-weight world champion against returning for the Barrios fight. It's a fantastic fight for Mario. He needs that big fight. He'll be paid well and fight a legend like Manny Pacquiao, who would say no to that. Khan told Sky Sports, Mario deserves this fight because every fighter wants that big payday. It will be fantastic for him.
Manny got in touch with me as well. Manny was like, shall we do a fight? Shall we, like, he's quite serious about it. He was like, shall we make a fight happen? I go, listen, if you can get a funder, if you can get someone like a Turkey Sheikh on board, then why not?
There's no, I mean, that must be able to be made. That, I mean, surely
you do that for the right money, right?
Massive. Look, we've had our best days, and I think a fight like that would definitely sell. I mean, Manny having a massive Philippine.
He noted of Barrios, when me and Virgil Hunter were training together, I used to spar with him quite a lot. He's a very good boxer. I don't know how much Manny's got left in him. If they were in their prime, in their peak, then I'd say all day Manny Pacquiao. But this could be a tricky fight for Pacquiao, Khan added. At the end of the day, he's been out of the ring for a long time, and has he still got the fire in his belly? Barrios, I'm sure he's going to come in wanting to win this fight because it can change his life. For Pacquiao, at his age, against a world champion who's only 29, it's a risky option. A long layoff, and at the same time, you're always that one punch away from getting hurt. I'm sure he's got a great career ahead of him in politics, Khan said.
Definitely sell. I mean, Manny having a massive Philippine fan base, and all around the world really, and then obviously myself, I've got a decent fan base as well, so I think it will definitely sell, and people would like to see, you know, when people make comebacks, I mean, people always like to see them, see how the fight's going to be. And me and Manny are probably in the same position. We'd be both being retired for like 3-4 years. I think it will make a good fight.
And you're only 38 as well, man. So we've seen boxers older than that getting back into the ring. I mean, you're still at a good age where you certainly could box again.
He doesn't need to come back, but sometimes you do miss the sport. Manny might miss not having that recognition, that love he used to get being a fighter. But I'm sure people will turn up to watch him. I think it will be a fantastic fight, but if I was to advise Manny, I wouldn't say to come back. You should come back to someone that's already retired, someone like myself, for example, because then it's an even fight. But when you look at a young fighter who's still a fighter, who's still boxing, who's active, sometimes it's dangerous. Highlighting Barrios' talent and hunger, he added, Barrios, I'm sure he's going to come in wanting to win this fight because it can change his life. While acknowledging the appeal of such a bout, Khan urged caution. You're always that one punch away from getting hurt. He advised Pacquiao to choose a safer option.
Again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at George Foreman, the late George Foreman. You know, he was a great champion, and he came back. I think he must have been in his late 40s when he come back and won a world title as well. So, look, in boxing, it's always that one punch. And at the same time, though, guys, is that I look back and think, do I need to get back in the ring again?
That said, different people seem to have different opinions on Manny Pacquiao's return to the ring. While Baumgardner is confident the 46-year-old could beat a 29-year-old Barrios, Khan has given wind to caution. What are your thoughts on the matter? Boxing superstar Manny Pacquiao will end his nearly 4-year retirement to face Mario Barrios for the World Boxing Council Welterweight Championship on July 19th in Las Vegas. Sources confirmed to ESPN on Thursday. Pacquiao, 46, last fought in August 2021 when he lost a unanimous decision against Yordenis Ugas for the World Boxing Association Welterweight Championship. After the loss, Pacquiao announced his retirement on social media to focus primarily on his political career. But boxing's first and only 8-division world champion has kept an eye on the sport that made him a household name.
Manny Pacquiao is trying to come back to boxing, and he won't fight Mario Barrios for the 147-pound WBC welterweight title of the world. Manny, 8-division champion, bro. Hall of Fame fighter. Great memories.
Rumors of his return have circulated over the past year. In July 2024, Pacquiao competed in an exhibition boxing match against kickboxer Rukia Anpo at Super Risen 3. Pacquiao's name has been tied to a return fight with Barrios since late last year. At last week's Canelo Alvarez-Williams Skull fight in Saudi Arabia, WBC President Mauricio Suleiman told Boxing King Media that the plan was for Barrios to defend the title against Pacquiao in the summer, while also noting Pacquiao had already been cleared to compete by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The WBC has written rules that state a former champion is allowed to request a title fight after coming out of retirement. At this time, Mario Barrios is going to face Manny Pacquiao in July, Suleiman said. That's a tremendous fight.
And chill with your wife, bro. Go be senator, bro. Just because you didn't win president, don't mean you can't run again and maybe try to win the next time, dog. We not trying to see you back in the...
Pacquiao is set to be inducted into boxing's Hall of Fame next month. He is also in the midst of a close Senate race in the Philippines, where he previously served as a senator from 2016 to 2022. According to Brunch Boxing, Pacquiao won't formally announce his return to boxing until after the election on May 12th. But all signs and sources point to Pacquiao's announcement being a formality, as his return to boxing is imminent. Fighting out of San Antonio, Barrios last fought against Abel Ramos on the undercard of Jake Paul's decision win over Mike Tyson.
Can Pacquiao, already the oldest fighter to ever hold a welterweight title, defy the odds and break his own record by reclaiming championship glory? With a professional record standing at 62 wins, 8 losses, and 2 draws, including 39 victories by knockout, Pacquiao is taking what may very well be his final gamble in a career defined by bold risks and his...
He won the interim WBC title in September 2023 when he outpointed Ugas and was elevated to full champion in June 2024 after Terence Crawford was designated as the WBC's champion in recess after he moved up to 154 pounds to face Israel Madrimov. Barrios' only 2 losses have come to Gervonta Davis and Keith Thurman. The co-main event will be a rematch between unified junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu. The two previously met on March 30th, 2024. Tszyu was originally scheduled to face Thurman, but an injury forced Thurman out less than 2 weeks before the scheduled date. Fundora stepped in as a short-notice replacement and won a split decision in an upset.
He lost a few, whereas other guys go, well, this guy was undefeated. Yeah, but did he take the risk? Did he take a chance? You know, Mayweather fought Juan Manuel Marquez when he fucking at 143 and he came in overweight. Manny fought the guy in his fucking best at 26. He fought...
As usual, Gibbons could barely contain his excitement over the possibilities on Wednesday, while reminding that Pacquiao's first belt, a flyweight strap accomplished way back in 1998, was a WBC belt. Can you imagine him winning another one all these years later? Gibbons asked. It's so crazy how life goes full circle. Look, the fans want to see Manny Pacquiao one more time. What happened last time, a 2021 WBA welterweight title loss in Las Vegas to then champion Yordenis Ugas, left so many people leaving that arena depressed. Manny should have won. He wants to win again. I've been with him in training. He's fast, he's quick, he's the Manny of 5 to 10 years ago. Let's be honest, 80% of Manny Pacquiao beats most of the guys out there today.
Manny's 62-8. Over that 50-0 any day of the year because of what he did, and he didn't turn down. And you gotta look who fought guys in their prime and who fought them when they were, you know, Mayweather fought Canelo when Canelo was like it was overwhelmed, and he sucked.
What's more, by seeking to capture a welterweight belt for a record 6th time against Barrios, Pacquiao wants to enrich the claim that he is the greatest 147 pounder in the sport's history. 9 guys in the Hall of Fame right now are on Manny's record, Gibbons said. Terence Crawford has none. And this is why Manny Pacquiao's career will always be better than Floyd Mayweather's, as he's looking to go punch up on a mobster's son, John Gotti III, in Mexico City. Gibbons said,
whatever step into that ring when Canelo was at his peak, ready to really go. He caught Canelo at the right time. Mayweather was very good at picking guys.
Well, this week they asked Floyd, I don't know if you guys saw the video, they asked Floyd, they were both in Japan, and they said, Floyd, would you do exhibition with Manny? And he said, well, I'm not here to get punishment. I want to make money. Manny's a real fighter and he's dangerous, so I don't want to fight.
I appreciate that.
No, I'm happy to see any fighter make money.
But the thing is, Manny still can fight.
Unlike Floyd, Manny didn't cherry-pick his opponents. He fought Juan Manuel Marquez, Eric Morales, and Marco Antonio Barrera, all at their best weights. He took some losses, yes, but that's why his record as a welterweight is better than Floyd, than Oscar De La Hoya, and it will be shown when we make the Barrios fight. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.